redesign allocation structures, override parliamentary weighting mechanisms, and create a power formula.
Still, in this edition of the Citi Prime News, government charged to financially hold accountable illegal miners following EPA revelations of $35 million cost to treat polluted Birim River.
My point is that those who have caused the damage must pay for the damage. There cannot be a special tax or levy for Galamsey. That would be immoral for any government.
Meanwhile, railway authorities seeks NIMO's help as illegal miners disrupt construction works on the Western Corridor.
The progress of the ballast is depending on the impact that we are having from the Galamsey. In order not to contaminate the ballast, it is slowing the progress of the work because of the Galamsey activities.
All that and more coming up in this edition of the Citi Prime News, which is also live in the Western region and on Premium 100.5 FM and Sky Power 93.5 FM, also on Beach 105.5 FM, all in Takrady. The news is live in the Bono region on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunya. In the Ashanti region, we're on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi, and in the Volta region, we're on Holy 98.5 FM in Aflao.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
I am Charles Ozukumi, grateful to you for a time here on the Citi Prime News this afternoon. Let's get straight into the bulletin, and we begin from Parliament. The minority is demanding the immediate withdrawal of the 2025 District Assembly's Common Fund guidelines to ensure conformity with the approved parliamentary formula. The caucus argues that the ministerial guidelines for the 2025 District Assembly's Common Fund introduce fixed national percentages, new expenditure categories, and additional national priorities that are not captured in the parliamentary formula. Addressing journalists, the Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre accused the government of breaching the constitution and reducing assemblies to mere implementers of centrally prescribed projects.
Section 1261 of the Local Governance Act 2016, Act 936, permits a minister to issue utilization guidelines, but only to facilitate implementation within the parameters of the approved formula. The law does not empower the minister to assign new national percentages, redesign allocation structures, override parliamentary weighting mechanisms, and create a power formula.
Again, the Minority Caucus further alleged that the Mahama administration owes the District Assembly's Common Fund 7.33 billion cedis, a situation they say is hindering development at the local level.
Despite being in office for a year, the NDC administration has not made payment toward these constitutional obligations and appear hesitant in addressing the remaining commitment and historical precursors that sends a troubling signal. The District Assembly Common Fund is not a discretionary generosity. It is a constitutional entitlement. Delay payment, undermine projects, stall contractors, and weaken local governance. The record speaks for itself. Our government, the NPP-led government, inherited arrears and steadily paid them down. The current government inherited a stabilized framework and has slowed the momentum. If commitment is measured by action, then the evidence shows which administration prioritizes clearing arrears and ensuring assemblies receive what the law guarantees them. The district assemblies deserve consistency. They deserve certainty. And above all, they deserve governments that treat constitutional obligations not as an option, but as a duty. Furthermore, the arrears accumulated under NDC government covering unpaid DSCF obligation in 2024 alone stands at some approximately 7.33 billion Ghana cedis. The Minister of Finance, my good friend, should come and tell me what I'm saying is propaganda.
You heard the voice of the Minority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre. Well, let's now focus on widespread concerns recently on social media and on mainstream media about ECG meters. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor, says faulty meters identified through ongoing investigations will be replaced. Now, the assurance follows a 7-day ultimatum to the ECG to investigate rapid credit depletion complaints. Speaking during the commissioning of MBH Power, Ghana's new meter manufacturing unit in Tema, John Jinapor added that customers found to have overpaid due to meter anomalies will be compensated.
Once we conduct the investigation, assuming some meters are faulty, we have to replace them immediately because you must put the right meter. And if it turns out that people have overpaid, we have to find a way of compensating them. But like I said, it's just too early. Let us conduct the investigation. Fortunately, we have a very good working relationship with the PURC. So the PURC, the Energy Commission, the Ministry, and all the agencies under me are working together. We'll make sure that we get to the bottom of this matter and resolve it in a fair and impartial manner.
You heard the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Jinapor. Now, in some other news, civil society organizations within the energy sector have called on the government to expedite processes for the construction of a second gas processing plant at Etuabo. The executive secretary for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amoah, after touring the Etuabo gas processing plant, says the facility has reduced energy sector cost and sustained power generation. He, however, urged the government to complete the second gas processing plant within 2 years.
Ghana Gas is now able to also deliver about 50% of your current market demand. If you put these together, strategy-wise, it's become a game changer. So you would need the Train 2 or the GPP2 to come on stream so that it can add a lot more. I will be happy that we become LPG self-reliant, that we don't even have to import LPG at all. At present, what Ghana Gas delivers, we still import some from Europe, to augment. If you're able to finish the Train 2, chances are that you can be able to take over the 100% market without going to other places to import LPG. And so we are pleading that whatever support the authorities or government will provide to expedite the coming on stream of the Train 2, we want to see it done in the next 12, maximum 24 months.
You heard the Executive Secretary for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amoah. Away from the energy sector, the Ghana Armed Forces has reaffirmed its commitment to working closely with the media to promote accurate reporting on defense matters and strengthen public confidence in the military. The assurance follows a capacity building workshop organized for members of the Defense Press Corps, a group established by the Ghana Armed Forces to enhance journalists' understanding of military operations and defense-related issues. Speaking at the workshop, the Acting Director General for Public Affairs for the Armed Forces, Captain Veronica Ahin, said the initiative is intended to deepen trust between the military, the media, and the public.
We all appreciate the vital role of the media in shaping public opinion and perception of institutions, including the Ghana Armed Forces. The media bridges the gap between the forces and the citizenry, carrying the unique responsibility of informing, educating, setting national agenda, and serving as watchdog amongst many others. It is therefore fitting that the Ghana Armed Forces has convened this workshop to foster open dialogue, share experiences, and learn from each other. This gathering, therefore, provides us with an opportunity to reflect on both the challenges and opportunities of working together. It is also an avenue to reaffirm our shared commitment to transparency, professionalism, and national unity. Today's session will explore the following themes: military-media relations, challenges, and the way forward; the role of media in safeguarding national security; but most importantly, an open forum for an in-depth discussion.
You heard the voice of Captain Veronica Ahin. She is the Acting Director General of Public Affairs for the Ghana Armed Forces. Well, meanwhile, the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters cautioned that the spread of misinformation could heighten security risks, especially amid the volatile situation in the West African sub-region.
As the armed forces continue to support national and regional peace efforts, whether in internal security, counter-terrorism, peacekeeping, or disaster response, the importance of strategic communication cannot be overstated. The Department of Public Relations leads this effort, but it is our collective duty as citizens to remain conscious of the information we share, especially on matters of security, given the threats facing our sub-region. On behalf of the Military High Command, led by the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ajapon, I reaffirm our commitment to openness and professionalism in our engagements with the media and the public. We will continue to invest in platforms such as this to foster dialogue and strengthen communication between the Ghana Armed Forces, the media, and the whole population at large.
That was Air Vice Marshal Joshua Latte Mensah Lakai. He is the Chief of Staff at the General Headquarters of the Ghana Armed Forces. Well, let's now focus on the president, John Dramani Mahama. He says Ghana's industrial sector is yielding results, strengthening domestic revenue mobilization and reducing dependence on imports. He made these remarks at the sword-cutting ceremony for a new float glass factory and the commissioning of a sanitary ware factory at Kedah Ghana Ceramics Company Limited in Shama in the Western region. The president states that when the factory reaches full production in August next year, its annual tax contribution is expected to exceed 1 billion Ghana cedis.
Since 2016, Kedah has been a reliable industrial partner. In 2025 alone, the company contributed, can you guess, 740 million Ghana cedis in taxes alone. So why a float glass factory from August next year at full production, what tax are obetia every shamaha to Ghana Revenue Authority will exceed 1 billion cedis. That is the revenue we use to build schools for our children. That is the tax revenue we use to build hospitals for our people. And it's the revenue we use to build roads so that we can connect our people to markets. And talking about hospitals, Shama for Wonka Wakumantu more hospital no Yabababisi.
The voice of President John Dramani Mahama. Well, let's now focus on the education sector, specifically teacher welfare. The Ministry of Education is assuring teachers of their commitment to improving their conditions of service. The Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Clement Apak, says negotiations are ongoing with key stakeholders to implement measures aimed at enhancing teacher remuneration, promotions, and overall welfare. Dr. Apak made the remarks at the Ghana Teacher Prize Sponsors Appreciation Ceremony organized by the National Teaching Council.
As a government, we remain firmly committed to strengthening the teaching profession as the backbone of our national education system. This commitment is reflected in some of our key policy priorities. One is our effort to improve conditions of service for teachers. We are deepening engagement with teacher unions to ensure comprehensive remuneration, timely promotions, and improved welfare. We are doing this because we believe a well-motivated teacher is essential to delivering quality learning outcomes. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service and the Ghana TVET Service, are working to ensure timely promotions and career advancements.
The voice of the Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Clement Apak. Well, meanwhile, the Registrar for the National Teaching Council, Dr. Christian Adaipoku, is also calling for increased investment in teachers.
You believe in investing in human capital of Ghana. You are not just sponsors, you are partners in national development. Your support strengthens morale within the teaching community and sends a clear message that excellence in education deserves recognition and reward. We deeply appreciate the trust you have placed in the National Teaching Council. We remain committed to transparency, accountability, and ensuring that your partnership yields meaningful impact, not only for the award winners, but for the entire education ecosystem. You believe in investing in human capital.
You heard the Registrar of the National Teaching Council, Dr. Christian Adai Poku. You're still listening to the City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM with me, Charles Osukumi. We're broadcasting from our studios in Accra. In the northern region, we're live on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East region, we're on Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu, Mike 105.3 FM in Avrongo, and Boga 102.7 FM in Bogatanga. In the Upper West region, the City Prime News is live on Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa. Still ahead, government tried to financially hold accountable illegal miners following EPA revelations of $35 million cost to treat polluted Brim River. We have details of that and others in a bit. Please don't go away.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Are you ready to revolutionize the future of agriculture? The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank, proudly presents the Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair will feature exhibitions, market linkages, masterclasses, and workshops on climate-smart farming, digital tools, and export development. Join us at the Black Star Square from March 17 to March 19 at 9 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be assisted by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofusui-Jari, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, to open the fair. Government agencies, agrotech firms, startups, farmers, financial institutions, and the general public are all welcome. To exhibit or for inquiries, call 0559 679326 or 0242 585419. Media partners: Daily Graphic, Media General, Radio Gold, Citi FM, and Channel 1 TV. Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology. We are gearing up for the trip of a lifetime. Heritage Caravan 2026. From 1st to 8th March 2026, 8 days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We're touring Ghana in the most spectacular way on the Heritage Caravan, exploring the beauty, history, and stories that make our nation unique. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2026 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay connected. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM across all social media platforms for updates, and join the conversation using the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi FM. And it's proudly sponsored by Holland Insurance, Piva Beverages, Omni Basic Bank, Caveman Watches, Gino, Didi Shito, Goyle, Minimi Achumo, and Admi Granite Paste. And it's supported by Nanes Rice. Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to the City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM with me, Charles Osukumi. Let's now head to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in the Ashanti region, where the Super Zonals competition for selected senior high schools is currently ongoing. Our Ashanti regional correspondent, Taufik Mohammed, is joining me on the telephone. Good afternoon to you, Taufik. Thank you for your time on the City Prime News. So, following the recent violence recorded at these inter-school sporting events, tell us about the arrangements that have been made to ensure that students are safe, especially in terms of security.
Okay, Charles, good afternoon. In terms of, security arrangements here at the Babaya Sports Stadium, per my checks, we have about 300 police personnel here at the Babaya Sports Stadium, and then 4 armored vehicles, stationed at various vantage points. If you know Babaya Sports Stadium very well, we have a joint called It's My Kitchen area, and then Amankwetia area, and then Banyo Park area, and then there is one inside the Baba Yara Sports Stadium itself. So what the police is saying is that looking at how the orchestration begins, normally it starts from it's my kitchen area and then the Banyo Park area. So that point is now demarcated as a security zone because of how the students' riots normally begins at that area. So today, the activities will close around 3 p.m. so that it will pave way for students who will be traveling far from Kumasi to get access and leave. By 6 p.m., according to the police, they don't want to see any students around the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. And then speaking to the PRO for the Federation, Samuel O2 as the chief coordinator for this federation, what he is saying is that because of what happened in the central region, there were all indications that this year's Super Zonals will not be coming off, but per the arrangements with the Ashanti Regional Security Council and then the security personnel in the Ashanti region, they are able to put up enough measures to ensure that students are safe for the 3 days, event. So if you ask me for security, presence here at the Babayara is very, 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 very high to ensure that the students are safe.
Okay. Taufik, before you go, what about leadership of the participating schools themselves? Have they given any indication that they are committed to ensuring that these students behave?
If I get your question right, every stance that the students are, there are cadet officials among them. Every stance, every school that's represented has some kind of, cadet officials. And they've also issued a statement that no national service personnel should be part of the students, and no, former students should also be part of the students, and then no, students interns should also be part of the students.
So they are not allowing former students into the stadium?
No, they are not allowing any former students, and then any national service personnel and any, intern students. The only people allowed are the teachers of the schools and then the cadets.
But won't that affect the beauty of the events, because we know the important role that these former students play in these kind of sporting events?
So, Charles, all the old students and then all the students interns from all the schools, participating schools, will be at the VIP section to monitor the event. So they will not be allowed in the stands where the students are, because per the indication that most of the orchestration begins when these people incite the children to do some kind of things that are not tolerated. So they will be instructed. They have been instructed to be in the VIP section.
All right. So, Taufik, that was Ashanti Regional Correspondent Taufik Mohammed reporting from the Babaya Sports Stadium. Let's now hear from the Public Relations Officer for the Ashanti Regional Sports Federation.
We are putting on a lot of measures to make sure that we have successful events from today up to Friday. We are bringing in almost about 300 policemen. There will be 3 armor bands at the stadium here. When those who normally come and then cause fights, all students and the rest, all of them will not get access to the stadium and then disturb the students. We also realize that most of the old students who normally join the students during the competition also cause those fights among the students. So we have decided that no old student will be allowed to join the students, the continuing students, in the stands. If you're an old student, come and pay and then be at the VIP to support your school or your athletes. Apart from that, all the schools who are taking part are supposed to come along with teachers to monitor the movement of the students as well as their cadets. So each school is coming with 10 cadets, and then the 10 cadets, they are going to also monitor the students
That was the public relations officer for the Ashanti Regional Sports Federation, Samuel Otu. Well, meanwhile, the National Peace Council has condemned the recent wave of violence, assaults, and attacks reported in some senior high schools across the country. The council warns that such incidents threaten student safety and the integrity of the education system, while acknowledging that the Ghana Education Service has condemned the incidents and promised disciplinary action. The council urged authorities to fast-track investigations to ensure justice is served and to deter further violence. Well, let's now focus on the effects of illegal mining. Environmentalist Professor Chris Gordon has called on the government to hold the perpetrators of illegal mining financially responsible for the destruction of water bodies. His comments follow remarks by the Chief Executive of the Environmental Protection Authority, who indicates that restoring the Birim River using nano-liquid technology could cost the country about $35 million. Reacting to the development, Professor Gordon urged the government to ensure those responsible bear the cost of the damage.
We know that the gold is being exported from the country to Dubai, to India, to places where there's ready market. So rather than catching a laborer on site, why don't we go after those big people, confiscate their assets, and use that to offset this scourge that is destroying our country? So I agree with the fact that those who have caused the damage need to pay for the damage. At the moment, we are all paying as a country because the cost of treating water that Ghana Water Company has to buy chemicals in quantities or different type of chemicals to treat our water is all borne by we, the taxpayer, already. So my point is that those who have caused the damage must pay for the damage. There cannot be a special tax or levy for Galamsey. That would be immoral for any government.
You heard Professor Chris Gordon. He is an environmentalist. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Apom, has called on the National Anti-Illegal Mining Secretariat to immediately deploy a team to remove Galamsey operators from the ongoing extension of the standard gauge line from Benso to Nsuaso, which is intended to transport manganese from Insuta. Speaking to Citi News during an inspection of the extension works, Dr. Apo said the stretch is heavily affected by Galamsey activities on both sides. He notes that this interference is slowing the laying of ballast along the additional 8 kilometers.
At the moment, 40 plus 600 to 32 kilometer 32,600 is the 8 additional kilometers that we are adding this year. At the moment, where we are, we've done the first and second layer of the ballast system. But going from here, kilometer 40,100 to kilometer 42,600 is where we are laying the ballast. At the moment, as you can see, the progress of the ballast is dependent on the impact that we are having from the Galamsey. Okay, in order not to contaminate the ballast, it is slowing the progress of the work because of the Galamsey activities. Because if the chlorine contaminates with the ballast, they have to what? Relay again at a cost to the state. This is why we are calling out for the support of NIMOS to come and clear all these illegal miners who are destroying this infrastructure.
You are the voice of the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Apo. Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Accra. For more news, log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Charles Osukumi. Many thanks to you for listening.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
Are you ready to revolutionize the future of agriculture? The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim